Today on Holmeshowdoi, we're going to check engine fluids. We're going to check oil, squirter fluid, and I'll show you how to check your automatic transmission fluid. So with that, let's get to it. Okay, let's pop the hood. So on this Mazda 5, it's right there. So most hoods, if you reach right underneath the front, there's a lever you scoot over and you can raise the hood. Don't forget to push the prop rod up. So this is a lever you stick your hands in, that's the safety latch you undo. Okay, on this Mazda 5, this yellow is your oil, which would be the same on most of your Mazda 3s, Mazda 6s, almost all modern cars, the oil is always yellow. If you have an automatic transmission, the handle is almost always red. You have your brake fluid. When you need to put in squirter fluid, it's right here. You can see the little logo on it. You have your power steering fluid and the radiator fluid, and where you put your oil in and what type of oil your engine needs. That's different on every make and every manufacturer, but they do put it out there for you. So let's find out how we do it. Okay, for the oil, just pull out the dipstick and just wipe it off. Don't worry about the levels on it. Push it back in all the way. And this time when you pull it out, then we'll read it. So you'll see that, and I'll put a close-up picture in there. There's a, where it says max, and there's a min. You see the oil is right below that first, or that last hole here, which is good. If I wipe this off, you'll be able to see there's two dots, which is your low and your high levels. It even says max and min. You always check oil with the engine off, not running. So once you've checked it, make sure that you feel it snap in. You notice this one has an O-ring on it. Make sure it snaps in so the oil doesn't blow out of your engine. Push it in all the way. Okay, I've started the car so we can check the transmission fluid. Typically you want your engine up to temperature. So you just watch your heat gauge inside, or let it run a half hour first, unless it's making a lot of noise. Same thing, we're going to pull out the little red handle. It does look a little different. We're just going to wipe it off. Now you'll notice it looks a little bit different. It even tells you the temperature that it should be at when you check it. Has to be running. So now we'll just snap it back in place. Pull out now, two markings on it. One says 65C and one says 20C, and it really depends on how warm the engine is while it's running. So in this case we're good. We're going to put it back in and turn the car off. Okay, windshield washer fluid is real easy. You just pull this up, and that's just a vent tube. And then from here, just you get to practice on how well you can pour. Now on this car, the front and rear all take up out of the same area. Snap it back in place. Now in the summer we use the traditional, but we do use de-icer in wintertime. That'll help if your windows are frozen. If you leave your windshield wipers up in the wintertime, you can hit your windshield washer fluid, and if you're running de-icer, it can sit on there a little bit before you scrape. Okay, now as far as your radiator fluids go, this is your radiator cap. if the car's hot, do not take this cap off. What'll happen is it'll actually launch straight up in the air. It'll spray you right in the face with hot fluid. You don't want that. So this cap really should only be taken off if you're working on the system or you know it's bad. This tank is for your radiator fluid. So you can always take it off and you can look in there. And typically on the sides, there's some markings on there. On this one, it's down here for your levels, and we're good. So if you have an auxiliary tank that looks like this, you're fine. Do not take off this cap. So with that, that's basically checking most of your fluids in the car. Okay, so we went through how to check the fluids in the car. So just want to go over a couple things. We talked about the regular windshield washer fluid. Now all these have a temperature range that they're good to, right? So these will take you down to minus 20 degrees F. Make sure, in case you're area where it's Celsius. So this will go down to minus 27. I have your de-icers in it, and we use this in winter time. Oils. Now every car will tell you what kind of oil you need, whether it's synthetic or regular or a blend, and what the weights are. So all of these are different. Like this is the 5W30. This is what we use in our truck. And in that Mazda we just checked, it's a 5W20. And our Jeep, it's a 0W20, and it's a synthetic. So everyone's different. It's good to check your fluids periodically, especially if you hear a ticking noise. If you have an older car, check it more often. So, you know, that's how we check the fluids. So tomorrow, hopefully, we get to the pandemic haircut, because it's getting a little out of hand here, and I don't do home haircuts. So with that, Holmeshowdoi, we check fluids in the car. If there's anything you want to see, please leave it in the comments. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next tip.